this morning?
Yes. Class.
So those 6 hikers down in Crawford, Georgia,
Shall we?
We shall. I didn't get a copy.
Oh, is there an agenda?
Oh, no, we all ready to dive in? Alrighty.
Oh, Adam's not here.
Who?
Adam.
Oh, is he
Or,
coming?
well, yeah, I should have
Does he
called.
know how to get here?
I should have called it.
Right.
He usually
Give him
comes
the
in at 10:30 to work, so maybe we'll see him at 10:30. He might have
Introductions. Colin, is this your first meeting you've been to? Everybody know Colin?
welcome.
Welcome, Colin. Tell everybody what you do.
I just started a hiker hostel. Well, it's not primarily just for hikers, but for this season, we're making Good Road and building it up from scratch, basically. So far, the hike has been going good. I love being this close to town, proximity to all the businesses. It's really helpful. So, I think somebody came to your place the other day. Yeah, Oz came to your place and started like $7 million or something like that. Okay. So,
It's gonna be a big deal.
yeah.
Cool. Thank you for coming, man. Anybody proxying for anybody?
I'm proxying Shelly Marshall.
And I'm proxying for Dave Looking.
Review notes for January's meeting.
They're on the back of the agenda. Really tiny, and I haven't gotten any changes.
Good to me.
We have a lot of So, can I make a motion to accept?
Second.
All in favor? All right. Current business. I was hoping Corey could here this morning.
Yeah, it's
Does anybody have any updates on? Did anybody have any dialogue with Corey on website stuff that I don't know about?
we can just say that.
He just commented that, or reassured that he'd be willing to take updates and do that for us.
Okay, so send updates.
But nobody sent anything to him. I didn't.
No.
You know, he and I have had a pretty disconnected week. We've both been working on totally separate things. What he's been up to. Banners. Mr. Bateman.
Banner. They'll call me Banner Bateman. No, I
Bob did.
spoke to the town board last meeting, just in public comment. About several, and you guys have heard it more than once, about just the top towns, seeing what we could do as far as getting a banner out for that, on behalf of the town, on behalf of this committee. I guess the town's award. Had a conversation with Summer after the meeting. She said initially the lawn at the town hall is available for a banner. She said, let me know if you need help. I said, that's awesome. My only concern is, in my opinion, I don't mind using that spot. There's just not as much exposure there, in my opinion. And if we do have a chance to put one over Main Street at some point, I said my concern is cost. I will have to come up with money to buy two different banners, because one in the lawn would certainly be different than one over Main Street.
It'd have to be smaller, right?
Yeah, just the specs.
I'm not concerned near as much about cost as permission. Just being able to.
So we've got two banners that we really talk about. One is Top Towns and one is Trail Days. And the Trail Days banner would be for a much more finite period of time, like a 6-week period of time. The Top Towns we want to leave up all year. And the problem with that is that as other events would come up and request to be over the street, Top Towns would probably need to come down. So I think it does make more sense to do the Top Towns as the smaller banners and have one perhaps at Town Hall on the ground and one, near your AT banner, on the other end of the building.
That is something Corey and I talked about, just being candid with you guys, is that if this doesn't pan out, is reworking the sign on the other side of our building, is to have put the Top Town logo on there somewhere, just to have something so people are at least seeing that we've got this award.
I'm obviously an advocate for it over Main Street, Top Towns. I mean, that's the aha, the hey!
No, I get that. I just think as a practical
put it
matter,
there.
it's a little more problematic. The garden club's going to want a banner over the street, so they would have to come down while that went up. I mean, and there's an expense associated with taking it up and down. There's also the insurance issue that comes into play on the overhead banner that doesn't come into play on the smaller banners. So I'd propose that we just do what may be the suboptimal banner, the smaller banners, do 2 of them and get those priced and roll with that for Top Towns, because if we wait too long, our year is going to be up. With respect to the Trail Days banner, we've had some preliminary conversations with Justin, who has to approve all that, and I think we're going to follow up after this meeting with some more conversations, and there may be a way to, figure that out. I mean, I'd be for the overhead banner for Trail Days, just because there may be another event during that 6-week period, but I think it's unlikely.
What's
But it still couldn't stay up for 6 weeks, right?
Well,
it's not all up to my interpretation of the ordinance. So I'd have to see what the proposal is and then look at it, If it's kind of, it says it has to be up 15 days before and down 3 days after your event, so.
we have a 6-week event.
All interpretation.
My suggestion with the Top Town, they have the decals that businesses, not that it doesn't have to be some static electricity. You could order those and have that on so businesses run out where it's a promotion ongoing.
Well, we probably need to reorder the stickers that we did for the announcement, which were adhesive stickers.
Under 76 would pick up that bill again, right? We gotta find a way to not do that.
I plead the fifth.
Do you remember the pricing? Well, we can talk about it after, but I think we do need stickers. I think we've got to have.
Yeah, just feel like the entrepreneurial community kind of promotion, but for an outdoor town, going that way.
Well, if we don't do something soon, the Top Town award's gone.
It's gone. It's great in our back pocket.
But once a Top Town, always a Top Town. So if
The Bengals won the Super Bowl in 1989 too, I think.
Well, I like Ken's idea that we look at a design based upon the logo that was made for that one. In fact, early on I got with Signs Express, and they even came up with a design based upon the size of the banner placement area in front of Town Hall, and go ahead and get at least one there. And if Malt can, and depending on what Outdoor 76 wants to do on the end of the building down there, maybe we get another one put there and get those up. And the idea of the sticker's fine, and then I think if we come up, these ideas and whatever the pricing is, then I'd recommend that someone from the board go to TDC and TDA and ask them for money to cover this. And the same thing with the AT celebration. I think we ought to go ahead and get that banner designed and the price, and get to get to both the TDA and the TDC as quickly as we can.
Between those two organizations and a few private groups stepping up, I don't see the cost being near as much of an issue. It's just getting the permissions to do things that we need the permissions to do.
What are we restricted on having on the banner for, say, the lawn? What restrictions are for, the banner to have on it? What can we?
Well, I mean, if you just want to do that, I mean, there's really no, restrictions. I mean, if it's something similar to that, I think, also you don't have any. I don't think it allows for any advertising of businesses.
Like if we did
Sure.
that, a reiteration of that in some way.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you put it in the lawn, say you put it even more as you normally put signs up there between the town hall and the Bowery, then the only time it would come down would be if you have a pumpkin fest or veterans or something, and then as soon as that comes up, then us at town hall, we can put it right back up. So that's all. And then you don't have to worry about.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Could it go somewhere else? Because we would want it out during events like that, someplace.
What about on the grass by the gazebo?
That's, yeah.
Bobby, did you go?
Just having it out on the grass by the gazebo. People walking town square in the clock tower across the street over the gazebo, seeing people having.
We have the place that's on the guardrail, if they put banners like this up on it.
Just with tie downs?
Yeah.
Grounds.
Around there at the lighting, you can see it.
Is that blocked by vehicles though when they park there, or would it be visible?
Yeah.
You'd rather have it there than up on the building?
You can put it up on the building.
I mean, my preference is I'd prefer to not have to buy it. If this logo is not going to make it anywhere else, yeah, we'll probably be the ones to help get it out there.
No, just
But it would be,
the
my preference would be to not have to spend my own money to take down a banner that's doing really well for me right now, or a sign that's doing well.
It can't be added.
Oh, yeah, big stickers, Here, man, you got that.
It's not out of the question, but my preference would be to not have to mess with that one.
Well, then it could go on the rail though.
Yeah.
And does the one that would fit on the rail, would that be the same size as the one that would go on the other end of town?
The one
So
that
if we got
goes in front
two
of
for
the-
price, it would be the same thing.
The banners that work on the town hall grounds basically work on the railing too. They're basically the same thing. We've had groups put them both places, and they're safe. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
When you get one, you get the order too.
Matt, will you work with us on this? And Bill's already had conversations with Signs Express, and if we can get, assuming that we might have to pass the hat outside the meeting, but I don't think we're going to be going to any individual business asking to foot the bill. But we can get a design, get a quote, go to TDA, TDC, and hopefully get it up sooner rather than wait till the next meeting to get all of that.
So that doesn't need to be bid out or something like that? I just don't know.
There's got to be,
I don't think
it's under a certain dollar amount. I'm assuming there's
Oh, yeah.
Monetary-
Yeah,
monetary limitations
no,
for
that's
bids.
nothing, for government aspect, it has to be bid out. I mean, it's not like they've got work on town pay, but I mean, it's coming from the line item. So it's, coming from nonprofit. I wouldn't think
plan to come to the TDC in February.
Depends on how quickly we can get it costed out and see how much of the, yeah, if we,
You name it, yeah.
What's the dimensions of the pump, like the pump that banner's been there?
About 4 by 6 feet.
Who did those banners?
Well, Leland's done them. He knows the size because I had a discussion with him.
Yeah, I think it's like 4 by 6.
Good graphics, you know, the same thing.
who has,
Good graphics. One thing about the one at the town square, I mean at the town hall, that I've noticed, it is very popular to have your picture made in front of the different banners that are out. In fact, our sign with the Hyper logo is so popular that we now have put a walkway
Way so
they
you can get
walk
up there,
up.
yeah.
It is amazing how many people get that picture taken in front of that and then whatever banner is.
You know, and that might even be something, I'm thinking outside the box a little. So many people come to town hall, take their picture in front of the Hyper logo, and they do a little yard stake in front of it. So when people take their picture, that's the side of the picture. You see it as well.
That would be cool.
yeah.
If we could, if there was like a town manager that could bless us, they could put these things all over town. And just like,
Yeah.
top town signs all over the place. Is anybody opposed to that?
Yeah, there's some political signs you can probably paint over.
Sticking with the political
We're
side.
not asking you to vote for anybody. You're in a special place.
You voted for top town.
Rob, you remember who did the stickers?
Leave them there.
Well, if we have everybody's blessing, we'll just pursue that. Try to have it up.
Do it whenever you got something coming back.
Yes, do the motion to let you guys do.
Make a motion to develop a banner for the Town of Franklin Town Hall lawn. As soon as possible.
All in favor?
Now, I think the Trail Days banner is a little more complicated, but we'll continue conversations with Justin. I think we will need to come back to the next meeting with the results of that.
That's,
We'll get a cost estimate, because it's coming up.
yeah, we gotta get on the ball with that one.
But we'll go ahead and talk to Lee about cost of that.
Every year our flying club has a charity event, and what he did for us, he made it so we could peel off the current date and put the new date on it. And it worked fine. He knows how to do that, and he did a great job for us.
I mean, one of the,
You know, and that's fine, Bob. But again, we weren't going with dates. I thought that we were locking on first day of spring, if that could be on the banner. First day of spring to Earth Day.
I'm just telling you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
that we always change it, the dates, so he made it so we could change the dates very, very easily.
You do a research for a year, you could try to 2016.
so we'll come back to that, but I don't think there's anything for a motion today.
Okay.
But in theory, we would want to get that banner up, if everything works right, by the 20th of March. So we can talk to the sign person on what the timeline is, and we may have to send out an email and get the blessing and that type sort of thing.
All right. So what are we gonna do? What's the plan for the street banner? Is that something,
We're gonna follow up with him offline.
who's gonna do that?
Bill and I can continue unless somebody else wants to.
Did all the other banners that have been up there, were they designed by Leland?
I think Gooder might have done one. I know the chamber did one, and
The Chambers one was through Leland, because I called Linda and asked her who did it.
then Habitat did one for the trip one. I think it was the only two that went up. Had a lot of people call and ask about it, but then never, and reserved, and never put one up.
The toughest thing we've got to crack on the Trail Days is the insurance.
is the insurance. So in the ordinance, is each party who puts a banner up, are they responsible for their own insurance for that banner?
It states that it must have liability insurance.
So what are we looking at? Cost there.
So the problem is an organization like ours has difficulty getting a one-off policy for banners. So what we've got to do, and this is why we need to do it offline, is we've either got to talk to the town or talk to the business about getting an endorsement that will cover the banner. And so we'll do that.
Too small.
Okay,
Those that don't remember, that's the one from the town hall.
I think it's a 4 May,
Yeah,
something like that, or 4 to 10. I mean, it's pretty long.
it's narrower than, it's longer than it is narrow.
So, yeah, not to put any pressure on anybody, but yeah, I mean, there is some urgency with both of these. And if there's anybody who wants to, Bill, is that you?
Yeah, pressure makes a diamond, yeah.
Pressure makes pressure makes it happen. Bill, I love your optimism. Are we good to move on?
Sound good, we're good.
Hotels and hostels. Colin, do you want to fill us all in on where you're at?
Does everybody know where Phillip Street is, or Frogtown? Basically on the other side of Frogtown, right up the hill, right before you get to the high school. Check it out. There's still under construction downstairs, but the upstairs is being used right now for everything. So we'll be able to expand really quickly once the season begins.
How many people do you think you'll be able to house it?
Once we get started, we'll do up to 20 to 25. But I plan to build like an outdoor bathhouse attached to the property, which I've got to tap into the city water and sewer eventually. And then with camping and hammocking outside, and in the front room, it could be as many as 40. So it's awesome. And I'd like to organize, I don't have any set dates, but I'd like to have like a bash at some point in the season, probably sometime in early April.
Now, have you, just so you're aware, have you discussed, when you start having people staying, have you discussed with the fire marshal?
I've been in contact with them. Right now, it hasn't been a problem because it's been low numbers. But as soon as we start to expand, then I'll
So that's when you start having to look at like sprinkler systems and so on, so
yeah.
that's something to keep in mind. It's just a state code.
Yeah, I'll check with them pretty soon on that. We've got smoke alarms wired in.
Things are different when people start spending the night.
Yeah.
4 feet.
Sleeping, yeah.
There's actually a lot of administrative things that they need to work out in the next 3 weeks. so I'll be on it. But it's right now I'm just focusing on the construction side of it. But if anybody has any questions about what the hostel is or what we do or anything, so far we've been helping with there's several shuttle drivers around town, so we use them, and that helps them and bring us in. They're contacted a lot of times by section hikers, or through hikers that are visiting, in off season. So it continues to help the tourist industry here, throughout the season that way. And as long as I figure it's a relationship. If I use their services, they profit off of it right now, then they bring more people in the off season throughout the year. So it's worked out really well so far. But I am concerned with the transit service. They run Monday through Friday, 3 times a day, which is excellent. That's better than any other community that I know of on the trail. But on the weekends, it really limits who can come in. And a lot of hikers, just because they're in that mindset of taking a day off on the weekend, that's when they decide to take a break on the trail. A lot of times it depends on weather otherwise, but in lieu of bad weather, when it's good weather, a lot of times they'll set aside Saturday or Sunday to come in. And did you notice that? It's kind of
We didn't. Truthfully, our overall perception is that it's by the time hikers get here, a lot of them are, what day of the week is it?
yeah, that's true.
A lot of them just don't even know what day,
But
it could be Monday or Thursday, they don't care.
But either way, we have a gap. On
Yeah, they're
Saturday,
absolutely,
Sunday.
that's something when we talked to Macon County Transit, that was definitely a concern we had.
And I would love to be able to afford a passenger van or something like that, but we're not at that point yet. Otherwise, I could fill like that. So
There's definitely a hole there, and ultimately it came down to,
they're not authorized.
hey, we'll take 5 out of 7. Like we were happy to get what we got, and I think long-term vision is that this will turn into a 7-day-a-week thing. Ultimately, it came down to just them not having the manpower more than anything. I don't think Kim had any reservations with a signer, a driver, and a bus for the weekends, but if the bus broke down, not having a mechanic or facilities to be able to help in a pinch if something happens.
So here's a question that leads to is, what do you all think about maybe some of the local businesses organizing something for the weekend where we could rent a vehicle that services all of the hotels and hostels and everything, and it's fair that way and going to, and following the same route, the same time frame, everything. And I would personally, I'd be willing to help with that cost. But it would be great if it was like shared between some businesses that directly profit off of the hiker tourism.
Like the airport shuttle.
Said it's an ambitious initiative and there's no harm in asking, right?
I would just whatever idea you come up with, someone needs to talk to the Forest Service first and make sure that you're not spinning your wheels. I would say, number one, you wouldn't be able to charge, okay, but you just need to check with them. And you might talk with Kim first, although she's collecting money. It might be different if you're not collecting money, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we've actually already put in the hiker guide that if they take the transit shuttles, we want to encourage the hikers to use the county transit. So if they use the transit shuttle, then that $3 comes off of their stay.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And that benefits the transit and makes them want to ride that one.
That's awesome.
So that's what made, well, I don't know if that made the decision, that's what helped make their decision to go 3 times instead of 2 times a day.
Hey, Rob, I think this agenda item, I think it covers 2 points. One is Bill spearheaded a visit to all the major
Right, no,
hotels.
absolutely.
The other is the feasibility study.
Which I've got stuff on that.
Okay. And then third, but related to that transportation point, I think it's premature because we've got to wait for the town's bike and pedestrian study, but I'd be in favor of trying to get some bicycles that are, I've been in towns where they had like yellow bikes that were available and anybody could borrow them, and they were so ugly that nobody would steal them. But
Ron Haven had one. He had one bike, and it got used.
But if we had a half dozen or so.
But then they disappeared.
Oh, really?
That's my
I
grandma said that they have no idea what happened.
Oh, interesting. I knew for at least a season or two. It was that one. I just remember that one yellow bike.
So I think it's a little premature, but I
Dollar
think
General.
I've looked into some of that stuff because we discussed it a little bit, having a bike share, rent,
Right.
something you can put on the square and people go and pay and get a bike. And, they generally are, the ones I look at, they're pretty ugly.
Yeah.
They're odd looking bikes, but.
Or they're just real obvious. Like Chattanooga has those. I think you probably swipe a credit card or something.
Anyway, so I think that may be a potential solution to some of that in-town stuff, but I think it's a little premature.
We would breed some amazing cyclists climbing up downhill too.
For the transit, I was mainly talking about
Some
some
old class athletes.
My dream is to flatten town.
It's nothing to walk through.
Here's so tough.
Something like that. But I'm meeting with Rick.
It's one of the hardest hills I climb.
They could put the rat on it. That'd be a roving ad.
Yeah. So I'm probably just gonna purchase a couple of old bikes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, even on your Craigslist. There's,
Good idea.
the other thing too, check with, I don't know if it's as prominent here, I remember living in real common in bigger cities. Police departments have all the stolen bikes they recover in the year. Like they have auctions. It's copious amounts. And that's probably not an issue here, but yeah. But,
Abandoned, maybe.
yeah. I mean, being a cyclist, I get on Craigslist all the time. So I'm just trying to do bicycle, just see what kind of stuff pops up.
Yeah, they don't need much as long as the wheel is straight.
It'd be nice to have something to change gears just for climbing town hills.
So what they say on a feasibility study?
So I've had some dialogue with Christy Dunkel. She's the town manager of Berryville, Virginia. I went to print stuff out for you guys and realized it was like the actual feasibility study itself is 142 pages long. So what I'm going to do is forward you guys a link to her email that there's 3 attachments. She gave up some pretty. I was surprised she sent me what she said. She sent me the actual USDA grant that they filled out, like how they answered it. I guess it's public information anyway, but she sent the USD. She sent the grant application. She sent the
Did the USDA grant cover the full cost of the study?
Cover the full cost of the study, it was pretty amazing what they came up with. She said they still don't have a hotel yet, but they're courting people, and it's like they couldn't be where they are without having that study done. It was a $9,500 grant.
Where is that, Rob?
Berryville, Virginia. It's like central.
Before the Shenandoah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. One of the things that we talked about, and this really, I don't see this being in your vein, but a lot of people recognize this. We need a hotel in this town that's not a budget or a sapphire. Just more lodging options.
It's going to be absolutely necessary. But
It's gonna. And this isn't even just for AT traffic.
Right, we were talking, all
Yeah, I mean, the number of events we're talking about at Parker Meadows, Gem Festival, all that stuff. We don't have a lot of lodging options, and that's, when you look at some of the key infrastructure things that communities do that are preemptive to building the economic strength of it's putting in hotels and airports.
the sad part is Microtel just sold, and so they actually.
We went down and talked to the assistant manager who's been there a number of years. She didn't change.
I heard they were going to cut, evidently they cut out doing a hyper special.
She didn't specifically say that. She was going to talk to her manager about that.
Okay. At least for now, I guess they don't consider it in season yet, but some Microsoft.
Oh, that's too bad. They only do it in season.
Rob, you'll send that out. And let's follow up with Tommy Jenkins. See this weekend.
One of the biggest things, and this would be relevant to you guys, was this hotel feasibility study exposed some, for them in particular in Berryville, it exposed some holes or issues that they had with codes. And they said it helped them realize things that they needed to do that's outside, that's over my head. I don't get it. She said it helped the town a lot to realize some things that they needed to change ordinances that would make
A lot of that, Rob, is county,
sure, and that's what it may be.
Not
It probably could be.
and also state.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But
we're
this
more
was
than
their
willing-
particular case.
We're more than willing to do what we can for anybody.
It may not be an issue we have to deal with here.
You said the feasibility study, she got it from USDA grant. Did she mention that they had like a match or anything with the grant?
They covered 100%.
Tommy's back to Raleigh on Thursday.
What's that?
Tommy's back to Raleigh on Thursday.
And we had, I wish I had more clear recollection on what Matt and I heard at the summit, but it seemed like there's a lot of resources out there, especially on with USDA specific. There's a lot of grant options out there. Back in our notes, we have links to some of the USDA grant websites of things that they offer grants for. So there's so much money out there.
The interesting thing about these grants is the vast majority of them are for studies.
They
They're
don't
not actually,
put shovels in the ground.
I can show you about 100 studies right now sitting on those shelves in Western Arkansas.
Really.
Yes. We've studied them.
Good intentions, right?
Yeah. And that's,
But that's really, I mean, but it does, this particular thing, that's all we need.
Justin's working on that right now with the walkability thing. We're working with DOT. Who else is involved in that?
The DOT grant, that we applied for, we got.
Right.
I mean, we've got a consultant team. But, I mean, there's all sorts of people involved.
Can I ask, so what is the end goal in the study though, is to show that it would be profitable for a company to come in? But is there any intention to offer like incentives or anything like that?
that I think
What's
like
the
Bob
next
said, would have to be
step
on the county level, tax breaks or whatever, I don't. That's, yeah, that is above our pay grade. But yeah, the intention of it
It
is
all
to be able
starts
to
with an
have.
idea, so I'm just wondering
Perfect.
what you guys see as the next step after that.
Perfect case scenario. So Matt and I literally sat right in front of a lady who owns a hotel in Harrisburg. And she is she's got a really, really successful property in Harrisburg. And for all we know, her and her family may be interested in buying, opening another hotel somewhere else. And we're sitting here beating, oh my gosh, so you gotta come to Franklin, She's like, I don't know anything about Franklin. She's like, all I have to go off of is your word. You're telling me you can do this. Whereas if we have this 142-page study done by someone, legit firm, say, hey, listen, here's what we need and why we need it. Okay, that changes things.
But it probably is only tangential to the
You mean her property?
No, I think any hotel that would come is probably going to be in a location that's not going to be in a central location. It's going to serve the ball field, for example. It's going to be out on the west end of town, and hikers might stay there, but it's not a central location. Much like now.
We don't really have a lot of options other than the property across from you guys. There's really not the road.
Right.
A bulldoze job done. There's not a lot of options. What's that? Silo Road. Yeah, seriously, that's
So you're gonna send that out?
yeah. You made a note to email you guys.
Right.
I'm just gonna forward you guys Sherry's email to me. Or Christie's number.
On that, just a couple of things. You talked about Parker Meadows. One of the things I did do, in going around and talking to the motels, and you'll see on that list I sent out that Parker Meadows was one of the items. I called the rec department because I just wanted to know. And they said, normally they will have tournaments out there every weekend of the month except one. And when they get going, it's with kids and adults, 1,400 to 1,500 people will come to those tournaments, and they run Saturday and Sunday. And so, they just got started last September, so they don't have a lot of information. But the teams and the adults and all that, it's 1,400 to 1,500 will be showing up here every weekend.
And I heard a stat like they're booked. Like this year's.
26 it's booked for this year.
And
There you go.
I was at a couple tournaments with one of the teams that we had, and I was in between games and asking some of the parents, like, where we from, you know. And there was some, you know, I thought we would have drove, you know, from parents from people from Kent. They were Kent. Spending the night. You know, the bars, these from the bars. But then there's people that, you know, it's always dependent. There was some from Georgia, they just drove home and come back. You know, I thought it was interesting who decided to stay and who didn't.
I remember playing Little League ball. It was just culture of the weekends. You know, we had traveling games. You stayed, even if it was an hour drive or so.
The other thing I bring up is
You
that
know, all the signs that go around the baseball park, those don't contribute any money to the park.
But it's completely private.
It's crazy. Why are they not at least getting a percentage?
The advertisement part?
All those boards that are.
Because it was an advertisement agreement with the Major Display that does it, so Major Display paid for all of the scoreboards at the park, and they get the rights to the advertisement for it.
Are
So-
they paying on an annual basis?
So the county didn't have to pay for any of the scoreboards on any of the parks.
So it's a continuing.
It's their business model. It's the same thing they did for Franklin High School and Robbinsville High School. They give you the scoreboard and they get to sell the advertising. So the school doesn't pay for the school board. The county doesn't pay for the school board. It's not indefinite. There's a contract.
A handful of cash.
The county's not in business to sell advertising, so that's why they didn't want to do it.
the other thing to bring up on the study idea is that, you know, Western Carolina, the business school, with their graduate students, have done a number of things. I know those have been in the paper, so that could be a fallback. And I forget the gentleman's name out there, but he's had these conferences, Morse. He's had these different conferences. I recall the article on the last one, that the next one coming up will be on something to do with tourism, and to find out when that's going to be, and see if we can arrange to have, you know, at least one or a couple of people go from this council to attend that conference. But we went around, we talked to Knights Inn, Ken and I did, Knights Inn, Sapphire, Gooder Grove, the budget and the microtel. We went over the items that were on that list that I sent out by email. I think we got very positive responses from all of them. It was good to go. On the shuttle kickoff, just to let you know, I called Macon County Transit this morning, and what I tentatively set up is that they would, next Monday at 9 o'clock, they'll be at Town Square, and they'll leave from there to get on out. So if, you know, a group of us wanted to be there and kind of a photo op type sort of thing, first day getting out of town, and we've got, I can bring one of the banners we had made last year that talked about just Appalachian Trail Celebration and have that. But, you know, I think that's an opportunity
Can we go up to Winding Stairs?
Well, if
there
you
is
want to pay
anybody.
$3, you can, but I'm just interested in getting the photo done as they kick off.
We all right up there. I'm like, wait.
Oh, sorry, we don't have room.
Sorry, guys.
This is the one thing that is we knew was going to be just unforeseen. Is just how weather was going to play into it this year versus last year. There's no question we saw a good steady flow starting in mid-February last year. And there's a lot of January 1 starts, way more than registered. I think there was only, Bill, I don't know if you saw the stats or if you have them there.
I did. I printed them off this morning, and it's a little, I didn't, the first time I looked in detail, but Ken and I were looking at it, and the big start day is the 15th of March, which means they'll get here basically the weekend of Easter.
But for the first few weeks, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because this is.
And the registration years, I mean, the actual number of people on the trail,
Oh,
it seems to be two
probably
or 3 times.
I was going to say our calculations are 3 to 1, because I think, what is it, seven people were registered for January 1. Is that right?
And there were 20, or at least 20.
We
on
saw
trails.
20 or 30.
But if they're proportional, you know, I think it still is a clue as to when the heaviest time.
Oh, no question. Yeah, that's that's become a constant. The big question mark is, what's the bell curve look like? You know, on the ends. Last year it was mid-February to the tail end of May. I mean, we had to
Started earlier and went longer.
started way earlier and went longer. So it'll be interesting to see. We had a guy come in yesterday. He was actually out on the trail last year. He said he's only seen one through hiker in his entire first 110 miles. So
Catch his name out there.
I can't remember. He was with. So when he was through last year, not the tangent, he got hooked up with Dave Woodward. He got back in town and called Dave Woodward and said, "Hey, I'm back in Franklin. I'm trying to through up again this year." So Dave went and picked him up, and I think he stayed with Dave Woodward. Anyway, 110 miles. He's seen one person so far.
I had a couple of people at the library. I should have taken note of their names. They sound registered.
This is just something we'll never be able to predict, you know, early on.
But you can see the timing of it, like you said, it's just another story.
I mean, since people are already hitting the trail, the next time we're going to survey, do we have that ready?
It's basically ready. We were talking last month about adding one more question. Brought that up about how, I think it's in the notes, about I think it was about how they found out, how they plan, what they used to plan, like what resources they used to plan.
Can you look at that now? Feed over it?
Yeah, that was it. What resources were used in planning their trip?
I mean,
Is it going to be a check the, websites, AT guides?
I think we had just talked about having a, was it, in general, was it, the main reason that came up was to find out how many were using ATC specifically. It was kind of a loaded question to see how many were actually using the ATC's website to plan. And then, surrounding it with like, okay, White Blaze, Appalachian Trials, AWOL Guide, what other resources were you using, but
do we want
more than anything,
list?
seeing how many were using the ATC.
Do you care about placement, or can it go as the new 18?
I think it could go anywhere.
Yeah, do you want to list out each separate?
Yeah, and then maybe have four or five options, and then check box with other.
If you guys aren't familiar with this, probably 80 to 90% of hikers go by that. They won't go.
Which one is that?
That's the one that if you include the listing and less.
I think 90% is even being conservative.
Can we, do we need to draft it as a committee, or can we all ask the question and
I think,
be done?
I think we're gonna
yeah,
have
if you
questions to
just
answer.
want to word it, I'll add it and then send it out and we can just,
Who reproduces that?
Well, the club did it the first 2 years, reproduced them.
Club will do it third.
We can do some, the website is an option, right?
it is, Julie says she can put it on the website.
And then I think the club can do the reproduction. We'll get them to the First Baptist Church, and as you may know, the club puts out these hiker boxes at different places. And when we did it before, there was like 2 envelopes in front of the hiker boxes. One had blank surveys, one had completed. And so just asking the proprietor to direct people to it, either fill it out online or fill it out there and leave it.
Did you talk about putting it on the trail?
We did.
Okay, so if we could have those ready for Monday for the first run, it'd be
yeah.
great.
That's really good.
Yeah.
You guys have any extra hiker boxes?
I've got to do a count to see where we're at.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get you one, yeah.
When do those get distributed? We're ready.
As soon as Bill Van Horn gets out the standing inventory.
I'll come.
I already have.
I'll come help
Yes,
get them together.
I'll get it.
Okay, I'll draft this today.
Okay.
And I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
we'll
reminded
send
me
it
of
out.
that.
And the library, we can just do it for ourselves.
Oh, that'd be great.
At the library, and I'll I'll send them, and if y'all have smaller places, you can take them.
All right, moving on, summit presentations. What was that all about? Anybody know?
That was about, I think, looking at the presentation that Bill sent out. Is that what it was?
Actually,
I think it was when Rob and Matt went around talking to various groups.
Summit presentations, summit,
Bob's still a lazy
ATC
man.
Committee Summit.
I got a newborn at home, guys, lay off, please. Summit presentations. Yeah.
You came to the Alderman. That was the last one, and I think that just it up.
So where else did you go? Alderman, did you go to the commissioner?
Did not go to the commission.
You went to TDA.
Yep.
And who went to TDC?
Did you do TDC?
I did not do TDC. TDC was bad
Oh,
weather day.
right.
But yeah, we last Tuesday night, Monday night,
Monday.
last Alderman meeting, I gave a 4.5 minute presentation.
You were under the gun.
Somewhere around there. Just
Time.
I originally had thought about just taking the list of the action items that we had as a committee put together, and presenting them to the board, and I ended up giving them all the raw notes. I wanted them just to see everything, just absolutely everything that we brought back from the trip. Everything. Including the blackout in the bar.
That was a nice picture you guys got.
For what? From
Oh,
Nice
in
picture.
here, in the ATC
Oh, I gotta see
Committee. Have
that.
you seen it?
Oh, I have
You and I are in
not.
there apparently. So,
Representatives will.
Need my permission. No, this close.
Bam!
We were holding
Yes.
hands around the tree, singing.
I met something too.
We have that. You still have that.
What's that?
That banner.
You got that banner?
I think so.
Yeah, what is that banner made out of?
Well, yeah,
Can we
why is
do
it
it?
on the
It's
town?
made out of unobtainium.
Dang you.
It
Oh.
looks like it fit on
It's
the
illegal
town
material.
real well.
It's not that big.
No, it's not real big. I mean, that's like.
Looks like it.
And it's not like a.
All right, that's pretty
We
cool.
could take it to Macon County Transit bus.
Yeah, but I thought we put it up somewhere. We put it up at the library during our program.
The library.
That's cool, yeah.
Chamber gazebo.
We took the notes presented the notes to the board, and just told them about Matt and I's trip, and what we got out of it, and encouraged each of the board members to look over the notes and to I know Brandon specifically has been really active on social media about asking people for ideas on things, and I just I thought there was some stuff in there. If anybody wanted to get proactive on something, there was some cool stuff in there that could be some. If an alderman wanted an action item out of there, or more than anything, just to acclimate them with the things we got and to encourage them to just help enable people that wanted to take some of these things on. And that was it.
Did you have any thoughts on
What
it?
they've done with them since then, I don't know.
Summit presentation?
Yeah, tell us what's helpful in bringing this to the Alderman.
Did our notes see the circular file after the meeting?
Not really. I think you have to realize the town is probably the biggest diaper you guys have.
Oh, I'm sure.
And in some ways, it preaches the choir, particularly with the board we have here. And I don't know how much of an impression you made on the individual numbers, but you certainly made an impression on all the people that are there. And I think that we're seeing more and more the value of what we've got. And I thought you did a darn good job of presenting.
I guess I've got two questions. You're going to do a makeup with the TDC. And the second question is, after the end of the season, after we gather all the survey information, do we typically do a second presentation about results of the survey.
We've never done that.
I think
to my
this time
knowledge.
we added more questions that would go to the impact of the hikers on the community, so we might have something to talk about this time.
Well, when we did it the first time, not only did we do that, we went back, but we also did an article. I mean, we wrote an article up and gave it to the press. Because again, there was a misconception about discretionary funds that the hikers have, the age that they have, the amount of education they have as far as college and after college, and just to make sure that, businesses could understand, this is what's out there, figure out a way to capture it and benefit your business.
Do y'all mind if I read comments from a hiker that came through on the January 17th? His name is White Winter. And he wrote, "We had such a great time here that we almost forgot to leave." It was him and 3 other guys. Everyone in town is so nice and easy to talk to. I hope you, he's writing to the other hikers. I hope you have a great stay. Happy trails, White Winter. So the hikers feel it. They feel the love that they get in this town.
Just in our
Those
6
guys
years,
stay for like 5 days.
just in our 6 years of doing this, seeing how many hikers have come back here is mind-blowing. Yeah, man, I threw like back at 13, and this town just like stuck in me. And thinking, they're seeing 2,000 more miles of towns after they leave here, and then we left that much of an impression. It's not like we're Millinocket or something where the last thing they saw is fresh in their mind. It says a lot.
But we are one of the first places to see a community that,
We are, but we got a lot of competition after that.
yeah,
There's a lot of other towns that
but it's like a first impression that they have.
Sure.
So that
No, I
can be
totally agree.
more memorable.
Location.
It goes back to having a dedicated committee that's willing to put forth initiatives. I would venture to say several of the communities that were represented at the summit aren't even putting forth any new initiatives.
Yeah, they have tons of resources, but just don't have a strong committee.
And I'm sure after they met us, they were really energized.
Franklin first place. We had another word.
I brought my waiter this morning.
Franklin the first place where hikers decide like, okay, I'm gonna get off the trip a day or two. And
Hiawatha's stolen our thunder a little bit on that one.
Yeah.
Franklin used to be Hiawassee County.
But the word we get from hikers is that the reception in Franklin is much better.
Oh yeah, no question. Yeah.
Now
Are we
we've got
first?
transit.
Not technically. Are we the best first? Yes.
You had the little speaker on the college hall.
No, I'm
A lot of
trying to get
hikers aren't
her.
ready to get off at Hiawatha, so they want to go farther.
AT, I think.
You'd be surprised how many are going off or get off Hiawassee. Top of Georgia's changed a lot too. Top of Georgia being where they are has changed tremendously.
Oh, where did she speak?
That
I
hospital
want to get her at the library.
She did a great job. She could really give you on the inside on the thinking of a hiker.
Right, she did, yeah.
So might be a good person, but come in and talk to us 15 minutes for the next meeting to just get insight.
I tried to get I had a hiker named Tickle like
I bet she would.
that.
Oh, she would.
Yeah. Is anybody in contact with her?
So that's still on the fire department.
It's Tickle.
All right, Matt. Is there anything else you want to throw in?
No.
I may try to go speak to the public.
Tonight?
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
It's on the agenda tonight.
You don't have to be on the agenda.
Right. Is it a big agenda? Is this what I'm trying
It's
to?
not, there's not anything.
They got a bunch of stuff on landfill.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
pages or something.
Oh, boy.
New business. Franklin AT celebration plans. I'll start with us. I don't know that we set a firm date. I want to say it is the Saturday preceding birthday. It'd be like April 22nd maybe, sounds right. we have decided to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the beer, bluegrass, and barbecue event we've done with, used to be LTLT. That event was originally held on August 28th for 828. Last year we held it on May 14th. This year we are combining forces with them. So Outdoor 76 and Mainspring Land Trust will be partnering to host an event that Saturday where we're going to kind of follow the beer, bluegrass, and barbecue theme. And we're going to try to come up with some outdoor programs. Maybe have Jason Meter, one of the guys with Mainspring, lead a paddle trip on the little tee the day before or that morning. But that's going to be our Trail Days event. We're going to try to have a heavy hiking focus, try to have something going on that's special for hikers that day. But also,
if you have a beer special or beer special,
Rob, what day is that again? The 16th?
it's either the Saturday. I'll confirm with you guys. It's either the Saturday before or the Saturday after.
Okay,
It's
so
either
it's the 16th or the 23rd.
It's the tail end of the season. I know it's right at the very, very end. But
And then we've got a thing with April the 9th.
yeah. And one of our reasons behind that is we wanted to. We're thinking we'll still have a lot of hikers in here then. We wanted to do something that brought the community in. We had, that event drew probably 200 some odd people from the general public last year.
what time of the day are you guys?
It'll probably be an all day, favoring the latter half of the day.
It's gonna go late.
Afternoon, evening.
It's gonna go late.
What's happening all April?
I don't know. Busy hikers thing. Yeah, I'll confirm dates with you guys. Corey and I met with Molly Phillips last week just to talk about. We originally were going to schedule it for May again. And Corey and I had plans to do something for our Trail Days AT celebration. In general, we're going, okay, so this is great. We do something at the tail end of April, and we've got a Mainspring event in mid-May that gives us 3 weeks to do 2 big events, so we just combine them.
What's our official, is it Franklin AT celebration? Is that what we're calling it?
So,
The period?
I think
Franklin AT celebration.
AT celebration period, first day of spring, what we used last year.
So, Colin, going back to what you had mentioned about having a bash or having something out at your property, the idea that we came up with as a board last year was that rather than having one weekend, like used to be, April Fool's Trail Days or Damascus has their Trail Days weekend, we don't have that anchor or we get a lot of hikers that come throughout the whole season, and we thought rather than doing something on one weekend, is that we'd have a lot of individuals doing things peppered throughout the entire season. So chances are when a hiker came in,
Is there
we'd have more exposure with AT hikers by doing something over a longer period.
are we maintaining a calendar, and is that online, or is there a paper version of it too?
Maybe on the website,
Yeah, and we did those handouts too last year.
we did.
And had all the events listed. It's just a, yeah.
Flyer in the third.
So who does that?
I think you guys printed them last year, Bob. Didn't you guys have them printed?
Or
I remember seeing them printed. They were like on neon fluorescent paper. I think Corey came up with a graphic of the calendar, and you guys had them printed off.
Because if that's something we can put in town and merchants, I mean, that's just another way of reminding merchants that hikers are important to the community. So is that something we can do again?
Remember that banner we had for Top Towns, and we had the handouts in that?
Mm-hmm. The little eight.
Yeah, it was advertising the announcement. Is that something that can be put out occasionally with this celebration handout? So I think it was like the same size.
Sandwich board?
Is that what it was?
We did. I can't remember if they were sandwich board or if we did. Oh no, they were on a, we made a 2x4 like T-stand. And we just set them on the sidewalk with sandbags on them and had like a nice board that we actually had a sign printed on a board that we screwed to the back of it and it had rat card holders on it.
I remember the sandbags for the end.
The big, yes, they were heavy.
So if Corey's coordinating, revising the website, so if anybody's got events, they should be sent
Yeah,
to
we
Corey.
need to start getting
And
dates.
then if Corey can accumulate them and get them to the town to print up the flyers.
And get it on link,
So-
the Facebook website,
Yeah.
page on Facebook. Discover Franklin. Rob, what were the dates of blog posts?
I don't know yet.
But it's
I can't
either-
remember. It's either first, it's a Saturday right after or right before Earth Day.
Is that something else we can try to do before? I mean, Monday kind of kicks off the season with that.
Right, well, it's,
Not the official
yeah,
date for this, but it'd be helpful if we can give this advance notice. By the end of next week, you think we can?
with the schedule,
Yeah.
it's up to the businesses if they can finalize their plans and get it. Yeah, deadlines are good.
Especially, yeah, on the banner in front of the town, or if we're able to do one.
I know
People
last
walk by it.
year, that little flyer, Christina,
noticed-
didn't it have the library schedule on the
It
back?
did have the
Well,
library
that's
schedule
what I
on the other
thought.
side, and I've got that pretty
Yeah,
much
that's-
set.
When we talked to Ron Haven, we did confirm that he's moving his bash.
We're gonna do 24.
Was it?
Okay,
Do
so
that just to play. I've seen that. They don't seem like it used to.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, they look cool.
I think it's brilliant. I'm not.
Good concept on
So-
paper.
Yeah. People just don't think to do it.
You guys move to type it in the browser, address or just search.
Wait, there's 3 different meetings going on, and I can't take
So-
notes on all of it.
Come
on, guys.
Said Ron confirmed
Can
he
we
was
do-
back to
Right
Iowa.
now is penalties, yeah, do something
So
on
that
the
doesn't need to be
second,
on
or
the
lunch,
Right.
April 2nd, for lunch. Now, that wouldn't necessarily conflict with yours.
Just,
Just out of
just for the-
curiosity, how did you, is this hearsay or did you talk to him?
We talked.
Yeah,
Is he gonna be doing anything in Franklin? Because I had heard that he was gonna move his whole operation, shuttle and everything to Hiawassee. That's hearsay, that's.
From what I understood him to say, he would not do a celebration in Franklin, he's doing that in Hiawassee. He'll maintain the budget in, he'll have the hostel, and he will drive his bus up to pick hikers up.
Yeah,
Plus it's running.
Just for the record, sorry, changing gears, Corey's email address is,
just, you can send it to Albert, so you say to email.com. You guys send it to chat.
And, 'cause I wanted to- I wanted to make sure you're happy with the wording. And now I'm thinking maybe, I need to look at the calendar, to go into the picture.
What are we doing here?
Moving on,
It's 20 after 11.
updates from, oh my goodness. Wilderness, what better person?
So at this point, 9 counties in western North Carolina have passed anti-wilderness resolutions, and if you read the minutes from those meetings, they're largely based off of misinformation, fear, and mischaracterization. And so our town actually passed a resolution last week saying essentially that they're not going to do that. They're going to wait until all the information is in front of us with the draft plan for the Forest Service, which will have alternatives. And then when they see that, then they can make a public statement if they wish about what the town would like to see come out of that. And so I don't think I can over express what a big deal this is for our town to have said that they will make decisions based on facts and just solid information.
and supporting the process, right? I mean, they-
Yeah, it's a public process, and the more people we get involved in that, the better. And 3 of the the aldermen actually cited the top town award that we have in the AT community status as really important, and that this decision really pays homage to that. And so I think it's really awesome.
So hopefully we can, I encourage all of you to actually send them emails or call them and thank them for attending. Yeah, get up there.
Dumb question, do the 9 counties, all 9 counties have inventory of wilderness land?
Yeah, 9 of the 11 counties are inventory wilderness areas. It'll take some time really to make some headway there and people understand where everybody's coming from, but in the meantime, I think this is.
All right, next meeting, Tuesday,
Rob,
March.
just
Oh,
real
sorry.
quick,
My bad.
I mentioned before, the ATC is having a workshop for service providers outside of Blairsville on Monday, the 22nd of February. And I know I talked to Colin, and of course I mentioned to you. If you've never been to the kickoff AT celebration at Amicola Falls State Park, it's a hoot, and that's over the weekend of the 4th and 5th of March. Will be taking place. ATC, in coordination with the Georgia Appalachian Trail Club, have basically, will have 3 times the amount of caretakers and ridge runners out on the trail in Georgia, primarily focusing from Neal Gap south. But you know, a lot of folks out there giving education and helping hikers and that sort of thing. The Natahale Hiking Club, we will have our own volunteers that will go out and hike on the trail, do day hikes to meet the hikers and do minor maintenance and make sure they're having a good time. The Baxter State Park, a lot of issues still ongoing with Baxter State Park. ATC is working with them to come up with a solution so that Katahdin remains the northern terminus. Right now, it looks like what will happen is that there will be there'll be a registration station at the town south of Katahdin in Munson. It'll be staffed by ATC. They will register the hikers there. They'll make sure that they're given adequate information on the policy and procedures that they need to abide by while they're in Baxter State Park. So that was the preferred option from ATC. The least preferred option, of course, is moving the terminus from Mount Katahdin. So if anybody gets questions about that, I'd be interested. If people are worried about it, I'm trying to get something in writing firm from ATC so that the right people down here know if questions come up. So we're all speaking with one voice. But ATC is still in the coordination and negotiation with Baxter on the exact details of what's going to happen in Munson, Maine, as far as the permit system. Before you leave, if you want one, I've got this year's keepsake Leave No Trace card, put out by ATC. Again, this is a keepsake. It's got the year and it's got the miles that the maintainers shortened the trail this year by about 8 months. Okay, and I've also got, in coordination with the Center for Leave No Trace, there's now a specific Leave No Trace hang tag related to the Appalachian Trail, and as you read this, you can see the Appalachian Trail written all over it. So got that.
Everybody good with her? We'll send emails on
They
proposed
should,
location next
they
week.
registered. Yeah. But if they haven't registered, let's see if they can come in and register. That way, let ATC know